इसको फोल्ड कर लीजिए ताकि कैमरा दिखे।
ठीक है।
अब मेरा डाइस पर दे देना जब मैं बैठूंगा एंड पब्लिक ऑल्सो ना। ओके ओके leave it distinguished panelist, respected moderator sir, good afternoon everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Whenever we hear safe and smart city, something comes to our mind, isn't it, that it should be crime-free? And when we talk about crime, the crime-free is a utopian thing. There cannot be a society without minimum crime. So let's go and consider there's a minimum crime. So I'll be talking about how the criminals are tracked and what is the best or state-of-art technology needed for it. I was associated with the CCTNS project, which is a mission mode project of Government of India. And for a long, because of my specialization in automated fingerprint biometrics, I was made chairman, national chairman for NAFIS. NAFIS is basically the national level office. So I will be talking about how the criminals should be tracked within the country. That's a pan-India. So what I did, I studied that what is the region, why do we need this state-of-art technology? You see, there's a rapid mobility of criminals today within the country. They are moving from one place to another place, they are crossing boundaries, and they are doing it rapidly. Today, we have a cybercrime also, which is a boundaryless crime, and it is happening even from abroad, and we are victim of such crimes. And now the crime has got a very serious ramification, so you cannot say that the law and order is strictly the state responsibility or the crime is strictly the state responsibility. The wider ramifications, the crime, certainly the big communal right or big terrorist attacks can have a question of national security also. So keeping in all these regions in mind, I studied what are the challenges I have within the country. I found out that we had state AFIS, and there were the 12 states which were having AFIS in their state, and then came out to be 18 by the time I finished my report. But many states did not have the AFIS system within the state. Even so, the UP was not having the AFIS system, now they are acquiring it. And when I studied the AFIS of various states, I found out that within the state there was no interoperability and there is no standardization of the AFIS systems at all. I went to the Maharashtra, I found that there is no rather handshaking between Pune and Maharashtra, Pune and Mumbai also. Then I found out that within my state, Madhya Pradesh, where the system of Madhya Pradesh and my bordering state, Andhra Pradesh, was the same, there was no handshaking or criminal data transfer within the two states. So there was no interoperability. Then I studied that what is CADB. This is called as a criminal attribute database. I found out even that is also not uniform, that is also not standardized. There was many challenges of customizations. One state had got some customization, other state had different customization. And capacity building was another issue. Some states were very, very advanced in IT and others were really lagging behind. So capacity building was another issue. So keeping all these challenges in the mind, I came out with a standardization report, and that report is also being submitted in NCRB, and you can find out all my recommendations there. But I will be touching upon what I submitted, because we wanted to have a standardization model within the country so that all the AFIS in the state can be seamlessly integrated and criminal data can flow from one state to another state. So I really studied as to what kind of a system they were having for a fingerprint. I found out that they were proprietary system they were using. So I converted all the proprietary system which they were using it, there has to be the NIST system, which is the standard system throughout the world. Even the FBI is also using that NIST system. So I brought out all kind of standard certification which was needed for a AFIS system to be installed in the state. Then I also studied the CADB and also studied the scope of customization. I said this is a minimum criminal data, which should be similar to what we have in a CCTNS. That will be the standard. Rest is a customization left for the state. They can do the customization. They can use it in whatever way they want, but this is the minimum standard database we want. Then I really worked out with the interoperability and also connectivity with the CCTNS. Unless it is being connected, we cannot use the criminal attribute associated with the crime. And then the digitization, because what I studied that the NCRB was having nearly 800,000, 8 lakhs of database, out of which I contributed 3 lakhs from my state. So I found out that the digitization was very less. We were using that black ink and putting fingerprint on the paper, and we were just piling all those papers. I really also studied that some of the states were not even taking fingerprints on the paper. So that was a big challenge. So I made mandatory, although it is mandatory in law, to take the fingerprint of the criminal and keep it and do the handwritten verifications so that the criminal is identified. So digitization was also stressed. Now in Madhya Pradesh, let me come out to the case studies, what we did. We used that system, and I made SCRB as a focal point or a center where the criminal repository was there, and then I installed RQTS, Remote Query Control System, RQTS terminals in all the districts. And I was getting all the data from the district and compiling to my state headquarters. But the challenge was that states should also transmit the database to the NCRB. The link was not there, so what I did is I started sending the databases in the CD or in CD forms. So on the basis of this, we did many success studies, and we really came out with a model. These are all the report. We came out with this kind of a design. This was basically the workflow diagram which I submitted so that the total database or seamless transfer of database happens pan-India, and the criminal from one state can be identified in another state. Why it was needed? Because there are criminals which are really moving. Take it for example that there is a crime in Rajasthan. It was caught by using this system when the criminals were traveling in Tamil Nadu. There was a crime within the Madhya Pradesh in one of the district called Narsinghpur, and the criminal was traced 200 kilometers there in Indore. So the tracking of a criminal was only possible when you have the CADB in a standard format. Then there was a question of having different biometrics also. You have also listened one presentation on facial biometrics. Then I added the iris also and came up with a multi-model biometric systems. But nevertheless, these are all the applications available for us. But fingerprint was the most important and essential and imperative for me. So I submitted the fingerprint NAFIS system, and these benchmarking certifications or standardization is available at NCRB. And states are also following, and few more states are coming up and procuring it. Thank you very much.